So something weird has happened in British politics. Shown here, more voters see Keir Starmer as pro-immigration than against. It's almost as if people can't believe their eyes. Conservatives always ran on, if you think immigration is bad now, imagine if you elected Labour. Then they messed up so bad, Labour got elected. The last time Labour won a general election being 2005, so quite a while ago. But now Labour is actually pulling down immigration numbers in every way which possible. It speaks to, in my opinion, the doomerism in British politics. What voters expected is Labour makes the problem much worse, then we have to bring in Nigel Farage because he'll be the only man who we think will do it. But they went off script. Net migration to the UK decreased significantly in 2024, down almost 50% compared to the previous year. The Office for National Statistics, ONS, reports that net migration for the year ending in December 2024 was 431,000, a considerable drop from 860,000 in the previous year. This decline is primarily attributed to the reduction in immigration from non-EU plus nationals, particularly those arriving for work and study. Another article, PM promises tougher visa rules to fix broken immigration system. He's on Twitter complaining about boat crossings. Look, I'd thought the same way, but we need to revise our theory. A lot of you are probably thinking, okay, sure, but Farage will bring it down even more maybe. I'd like to point to Brexit. He said that with lower immigration, he said we'd get all these trade deals, but we're stuck getting trade deals that's worth like 0.0001% of GDP. It's nothing. Then immigration rose as they replaced EU migrants with non-EU migrants, which is basically just cheaper labour.
And it has great benefits. No more financial contributions, no more European Court of Justice, no more common fisheries policy, no more being talked down to, no more being bullied, no more Guy Verhofstadt. I mean, what's not to like? I know you're going to miss us. I know you want to ban our national flags, but we're going to wave you goodbye, and we'll look forward in the future to working with you as sovereign.
If you disobey the rules, you get cut off. Could we please remove the flags? Mr. Farage, could we remove the flags, please?
Well, that's it. It's all over. Finished. We've gone.
Could I please ask for quiet?
Look, if you voted leave, that's okay. You got lied to, but that was a humiliation ritual. Now the whole world loves the EU. Even in Australia, they want to join the EU because they saw how bad it went for us leaving it. Worldwide embarrassment. Unprecedented embarrassment. How stupid would we be if we elected the same guy as Prime Minister? He crashed the economy once more and barely even does anything to migration, because we had that with the Conservatives. They crashed the economy and didn't touch immigration. What type of humiliation ritual would that be? I get why people like reform, they're anti-establishment, and maybe there's even a feeling he was mad enough to do Brexit, he's mad enough to do this. Also a bit of apathy about the economy, as working class, or elderly people's, money isn't really affected by the economy like a middle class person would be. These can be people who barely even vote. People could want to rip down the political system and replace it with something new. Labour Tory has gone on for too long. Reforms seem attractive in that sense. But let's look at the international relations, and this is something that's much more important than you think. As if you're a big country like the US, you can bully all these countries and they can come back kissing your ass begging for deals. But not a middle power like the UK. That's what we tried to do with Brexit. Instead of trying to fix it from the inside, we sent Farage to go annoy everyone, then we threw our toys out the pram, and now Europeans have had us on the blacklist, making sure we're in the back of the queue for all deals. Which is leading to our migrant problems and such. Seriously, very few people know this. The EU has had to be begged by countries like France and Germany to get deals done. Only literally the Russians invading Ukraine and the US saying we're not going to help anymore has the EU wanted to do a relations reset. You can hate the EU for it, but it's only business. They have the leverage now, and we tried to destroy the whole thing basically. All countries had their version of Brexit, and they said, let's see the UK do it first. So the EU had to make things difficult for us. So think about how bad of a position we'd have been in if Russia didn't invade Ukraine. Now imagine Farage as Prime Minister. What would he do? We'd be nowhere, quite frankly. And I know when people talk about defence from Russia, people will say, why should I care? It's all the way over there. They threaten to nuke us every day. If they were sending drones and flatlining your cities, you would care, and that's a possibility. And maybe this is for another video, but I'll keep it short. They use bots and bribe our politicians to destabilise us. They interfered in Brexit, they interfered in the Scotland independence referendum. Yes, a lot, or maybe most, of the separatists you see online are Russian bots. In the book, Foundations of Geopolitics, a long 30-year plan, they want to see us removed from Europe so they can slowly take over Europe, and they succeeded. We got trolled into basically shooting ourselves in the foot, but Keir Starmer is reversing that. He's spearheading the coalition of the willing. He's a Mark Carney type, Canada's Prime Minister, where other countries look and say that's the guy I want leading us, an adult in the room. Yet the British people are embarrassed. Now, it's not about being a leftist, but it's for what's right and what's wrong. Starmer is basically doing everything you want. So now you can't complain about being tricked when these people have tricked you before. You had a party who is actually working on the economy, actually working on immigration, repairing relationships with allies, but you thought they were soy basically. When I think about the British or UK mentality, I liken it to the same with how the Polish were treated. Before leaving the EU, it was they're taking our jobs, then we left and we got more non-EU migrants. Suddenly, they were the best, hard-working lads. It's called shooting yourself in the foot because you have that mindset that everything gets worse, then you make decisions that make everything worse. As the right and the top capitalists own all the newspapers, they're pumping nothing but fear and deception about migration. But if you've watched this video, you have no excuse. And you have no excuse to try and tell your friends or family members about how they're being messed around once more. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. I'm out.